Word on the street is you want to learn how to play as Neo's Mamoswine. Well, you're in luck because I'm the Zaben Neo Zaben, and this is Zaben Education. Thank you for joining because today is a lesson in how to play my Mamoswine. I'm going to do my best to explain the goals / objective when playing, or rather when I play as Mamoswine. Everybody's goals are going to be different, of course, and of course, I'm going to show you the emblems and held items because these are going to be the key factors into playing my Mamoswine. So with that said, let's go straight into those items. This is going to be the build that we will utilize when playing as Mamoswine, alright? So, starting with the held items, we have the Quick Scarf, which gives you an additional 12 attack, as well as 9% attack speed. You will see that it does also say 30% attack speed, and that is because of its ability, right? So on the third basic attack with this item held on, it's going to give you an additional 30% attack speed on top of the 9, so basically 39% attack speed, and it's only temporary, so it's only for a couple seconds, really doesn't last that long. It's a nice way to just kind of do as much damage as you can, and then of course it goes on a cooldown, so you can always just use it again later on. Then we have ourselves the Muscle Band. The Muscle Band's increasing your attack by 15 and increasing your overall attack speed by 7.5%. And lastly, we got the Focus Band, which is going to give your defense and special defense an additional 30. And when you're low on HP and you're in the middle of a battle, it's going to help you recover some of that HP, at least up to 12% of it. Now, all these held items are fully upgraded, so I would definitely recommend if you want to get those numbers, try to fully upgrade them whenever you can. And plus, you can always just mix them with other Pokemon, so it's well worth that you increase or level up these held items. Now onto the emblems here. We got ourselves Kangaskhan Gyarados, Dragonite Primeape, Poliwrath, Pidgeot Pidgeotto, Nidoking Nidoqueen, and Sephiroth. Sorry. So the build for this, right? When we use this, it's going to give you 300 HP and an additional 6 to your attack. I think overall that's pretty good. I know attack doesn't seem very crazy, but it is a nice thing because you want to get as much HP as possible from this. Now, the downside is your defense and your special defense will go down by 5, but that's not too bad because we kind of make up for it with our held item as well as our matching set, which we'll get to in just a second. We also have our special attack that goes down by -21. That is completely fine. Reason why is because Mamoswine is not a special attacker, so he does not utilize it. It is completely fine to use emblems or builds that drop his special attack because he's not going to utilize it. With that said, with having a matching set, as you can see in blue, we get an additional 2% to our defense, an additional 4% for HP, an additional 2% to attack, an additional 2% to special defense. So overall, looking at this build, you can quite see that it's going to really focus on just doing attack and increasing your HP, and then trying to make up on your defense and special defense. There's also a passive ability of Mamoswine, where whenever Mamoswine deals damage, his defense and his special defense are increased for 5 seconds, and they stack up 3 times. And of course, whenever Mamoswine uses one of his ice abilities, the next auto attack or basic attack is boosted, right? So that increases his attack. And then, of course, it says if any of these creates a freezing area effect that is inside an ally goal, the goal score speed of the enemy will decrease by 30% for 5 seconds. So basically, if you have a freeze area effect and you're in your own goal zone, the enemy tries to come in, their speed, which they try to defend, right? They're trying to score, sorry, will be much slower, so making it a lot easier for you and your team to kind of come back and deal damage to them. Playing as Mamoswine can be pretty interesting, but I would definitely recommend if you have a good pairing, somebody that kind of matches your energy when you play as this character, by all means, please do so, right? So in this case, it is me and Nojo playing together. He's showing off the new Pokemon Gyarados, and what I actually found out by rewatching the stream that we had as you are watching it with me is he has to also play aggressive, right? Because if he's not playing aggressive, it takes a much longer time for his Magikarp to evolve into a Gyarados. So in the beginning, he and I both are playing very aggressive. Basically, what that does is it allows us to level up a little bit faster, but it also allows him to also get into being Gyarados much faster, right? So as you can see here, he eliminates the Lucario, and you see his little XP bar or evolution bar kicks up so much, right? So after we eliminate the Slowbro or Slowpoke, sorry, we score, boom, already Gyarados, and that gives us the advantage right there. Now, what is the advantage of playing Swinub aggressively in the very beginning? Well, you got to remember and keep in mind that we have a lot of HP. With the emblem build that we have, we are regaining some defense back, right? Including our held items. And as soon as we level up, we then have access to Ice Fang. So the first one I would recommend if you're picking moves is to go with Ice Fang. It really does two things. If you're in a pairing like Nojo and I, right, we have the Gyarados who can kind of lunge at the enemy players, and I have Ice Fang added. Basically what happens is I pick up the opponent, Nojo uses his lunge, either in the middle of me, stalling there with that one opponent, or he might do it immediately after as soon as I slam him down. So in the end, we end up doing a ton of damage to that one person. And not only that, what's cool about Ice Fang is if there's somebody else next to you, when you slam it down on them, they will also receive damage. And if you really wanted to, you can kind of turn the person the other way around, meaning you can use Ice Fang, pick them up, and slam them behind you. Sometimes you can really use that to your advantage, meaning if there's, maybe a teammate right behind you, right? If there's a teammate right behind you, you can pick up the opponent, slam him right behind you, and the teammate's going to help you basically just eliminate that opponent, and that's really what you want. And not only that, for example, you could be by the goal zone, as you saw here with the Mewtwo. I picked him up for a second and put him back into the grass because I did not want him going to the goal zone so early. Yeah, I did get eliminated because I was pushing a little bit harder than I should have, but either way, you still saw the perfect example of picking up the Pokemon with Ice Fang, turning them around, slamming them. It's a nice way, especially if they're very low health, to sort of keep them away from making it to their goal zone and healing, or making it to their goal zone and then making it back with their team. So you always kind of want to make sure they're prevented from doing those things. And of course, you want to hit the other people as well. The other move that I literally just used right here is High Horsepower. What's awesome about High Horsepower is that it's similar to Tackle in the very beginning, right? You kind of push in a direction and you kind of do it like a slam or a jump in the very end. So you kind of deal damage as you go, and then you kind of do like an area of effect damage immediately after. So it's actually really useful to have that. What's also cool about it is that if you are doing it to an enemy player, as we see with the Lucario here, you can push them into the direction that you're going. And again, as you kind of saw there with the Ice Fang, I pick him up, I push him back, and that basically just makes sure that, hey, you're going to be next to Nojo and you're going to be next to this Regieleki. And not only that, but you're also not making it towards your goal zone at all. Like, I'm making sure you're not escaping, come back to the battle, you're staying here. And again, that's just really what this Mamoswine is all about. There is literally so many amazing moments, even as I'm just talking here. There are so many amazing moments where we're just dominating, again, dealing, just destroying the Lucario and Mewtwo duo, right? And again, it's perfect when you utilize Mamoswine sort of being big, bulky, and sort of stalling with somebody else who's kind of just doing, amazing damage, or in this case, it's Nojo with the Gyarados pulling off amazing damage. I can't remember if in this scenario right here, if I survived the solo battle, but I definitely pull off a lot of damage here, right? Like, we were able to, on our own, almost win a 2v1. The only reason why we didn't win was because the Mewtwo has the recovery ability. That's the only reason why we didn't beat this Mewtwo here. But the Lucario, we definitely beat. If Mewtwo didn't have that recovery move and maybe had, let's say, teleport instead, I definitely would have beaten them both. So again, you really want to make sure that even though, yes, in that situation, I probably could have beaten them both, but you always want to make sure that you are partnered up with people who are going to play similar to you, or kind of play in a way that matches your energy. And then not only that, you also want to make sure that you are stalling and using your stalls in a perfect way, whether it be pushing the enemy away or towards something. It could be same thing with Ice Fang, right? Picking them up. Do you want to slam them immediately down onto other people? Do you want to push them maybe away from the people? Like, you got to kind of figure out how you want to stall, but the stalling mixed with somebody else who can help play into that works the absolute best. So we are going to recap on a lot of the moments here that happened. There's also a lot of interesting moments that we didn't get to see yet, so I want to make sure that you guys get to see some of those awesome Mamoswine Gyarados moments. I like how the Magikarp chased down a Lucario. Explain that. There we go. No joke. Got all the way up. Wait, what? Oh, okay. That's weird. Ooh! He thought he could get out of there. I think I saved Nojo. Oh my god. No! I wanted to dunk before that. You know how crazy it'd be if we could pressure that? That looked nice. Oh, that was a combo if I've ever seen one. My only weakness in this battle might be Slowbro and Garchomp. What? Ain't no way we get the team did that.
6 hydrates.
I hope that you guys learned how to play Mamoswine, maybe improve your Mamoswine, or you want to pick up Mamoswine. I don't know which one it really is, but with all that said, again, just remember we want to play sort of aggressive, and especially very on in the game, very early in the game. You want to be pretty aggressive. You want to make sure that you're getting that XP as soon as you can, and make sure you're playing with someone who can kind of match that energy. Make sure that they're kind of catching up with you and supporting you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a supporter Pokemon. It can be an all-arounder. It could be another defender, maybe another attacker, right? I would say kind of aim for an attacker or an all-arounder. But again, that's just hope you guys learned something from this. So with all that, as always, everybody, please stay kind, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time, hopefully with another tutorial of how to play something.